here's what we've got, okay? Let me explain the business impact awards to everyone, okay? As I said, there's this thing called the Gartner hype cycle that basically makes you think that IoT is a figment of my imagination, okay? According to them, the hype cycle is up on the top and we're just full of ourselves. These folks and the next set that comes up are real implementations of IoT. They have actually done the work of making IoT a reality. So the hype is bull, the reality is real, right? Reality real? Okay. So with all that said, I'm going to have our panel talk about their customers and talk about their implementations of it. So the first set, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, is I'm going to have Martin talk about Powerhouse Dynamics and their relationship to Arby's. So why don't you start us off, Martin?
Thank you, Carl. Good afternoon. I'm thrilled to be here and receiving this award for a real implementation. I'm Martin Flusberg.
Get it closer to yourself.
Speaking again.
There we go.
I'm Martin Flusberg. I'm the CEO of Powerhouse Dynamics. We provide a solution that connects, monitors, analyzes, and controls equipment in portfolios of small commercial facilities. So that's restaurant chains, retail chains, convenience store chains. It supports enhanced management, maintenance of the equipment, reductions in energy use and water use, and in the food services industry, food safety is a major component. So Carl mentioned Arby's. We are, our system's installed in all 1,000+ corporate-owned Arby's stores and about 35 of their franchisees as well. Controls our HVAC, monitors and controls equipment in the kitchen. We are connected, actually factory integrated with several of their oven manufacturers, fryer manufacturers, refrigeration equipment manufacturers. We're also integrated with some HVAC manufacturers, as well as irrigation systems, including the one that Arby's is using. Arby's has reported a 15.2% reduction in their energy use, significant reduction in water, where we're integrated with the irrigation system, significant reduction in labor as a result of automating the food safety. So very significant results. They are but one of our customers. Others are Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, Ann Taylor, Racetrack Petroleum.
Prabhu,
so a lot of big companies, a lot of big impacts.
Okay. Excellent. So, next, Prabhu, you want to talk about WebNMS, and let me put the slide up that shows you, if I can get in the right order. There. So you want to talk about IMTAC and what they've done? And
Hi, this is Prabhu Ramachandran from WebNMS. Our use case today is one of our customer based in Oman, and IMTAC is a large system integrator. They work with large enterprises like oil and gas companies, governments. They run governments' data centers. They are into oil drilling. They are into maintaining city infrastructure, and they wanted to adopt IoT for their government customers. The first project was they started with lighting in a city where there is street lights across the city. The challenge they face is basic switching on and switching off of lights based on like astro clock. So today there is a local level of automation where every 12 hours lights are on and then next 12 hours they are off. But because of during summer the sunset is later, during winter sunset happens earlier. So they were losing on an average around 60 to 90 minutes on energy. So we adopted IoT where the schedule of lights were automated based on astro clock, but that was a basic thing. And then we've implemented dimming capabilities where a city operator can just go to a Google map and select one area and say, you dim this area after, say, 12 o'clock in the night. And if a football match is happening, don't dim in that area. So we give that level of flexibility where from a single dashboard, they're able to control the lighting across the city. And the next one is if a light fails, the city municipality cannot identify the failure of the light until someone complains. So non-availability of lighting is a security threat for a city. So we automated where when a light fails, we automatically create a trouble ticketing system and dispatch repair personnel to that area. And we also integrated with an inventory management system. Okay? So the overall benefit is they were able to save energy around 20% on energy bills, and they were able to increase their uptime of light by 97%, and they were able to reduce their logistic cost, like cost required to repair, time lost in repairing, by around 40%. Okay? So this customer, after lighting, they have gone to next level is they are working on water conservation for the city, and they are also working on energy conservation in other areas like large buildings within the city.
Excellent. So, Punit, you are typical of the problems that I have in this space, in the fact that you have a customer that wishes to remain anonymous. Now, imagine my problem with the hype cycle where I know there's stuff going on in this world, but I'm not allowed to tell about them. So, Punit's going to tell you about something that we're not allowed to know who, but we know for a fact it's true. So go ahead and tell us about your customer that does something with buildings.
All right, thanks, Carl. Hello, everybody. I am Punit Kulkarni, and I lead marketing for Harman International. They are famous for their consumer electronics brands like JBL, Harman Kardon speakers, if you guys have heard of. That's one part of our business. We also do a lot of work in connected car space. I'm sure if you think of any
Bill,
luxury car,
have you got your camera?
we have our connected
Yes.
car systems, infotainment systems, IVI systems in there.
Yeah,
But it's all about, it's not about the car
we're swapping
itself.
out. We're
This
doing
whole
the cycle.
industry
So he comes up next.
is being consumerized. It's
As soon as I'm done
becoming
with them, then
consumer
we'll get
centered.
hard on.
So driving
And
experience
Sean,
across
just
it, be it a
relax.
driver, be it a tenant in a building,
Yeah,
that's where the
I'm gonna
industry
need you to
is
take individual
demanding
pictures
solutions
real quick.
for. So one of the projects that we've done is for a large commercial real estate services company. And they have, they came to us to build smart buildings. And in terms of smart buildings, it's not about, hey, a lot of automated systems and things like that. They wanted solutions that would solve problems for everyday office goers. Many a times there are, some sections of the office, some
Sean's gonna be
particular
with you, and
cubicles,
she's got her customer with her, so
which
that'll be
are
fun.
more
And then
colder. The AC blows cold air on there than anybody else. How many of you have seen, your
I only throw
coworkers
softballs
walking
on
in
the floor.
sweaters in summers? So being able to monitor the temperature, being able to get that data back into the IoT system that we built, and being able to pass that information to the HVAC, saying, hey, regulate the control, the temperature accordingly. Very simple problems, but being able to do that and then tie it back into a larger scheme of utilization, space utilization, or resource collaboration, or even things like that where there is tenant experience involved. So a lot of work that goes into being able to connect these building systems together using IoT, using the connected systems, and being able to leverage that data to help them solve everyday problems.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you panel a question before we bring up the other panelists, and I'll cycle you guys out, which is, did the customer ask for IoT, or what did they ask for when they started to work with you? And you knew it was IoT, and they may or may not have known. So Prabhu, you want to start us off?
Like a lot of customers, they don't care about IoT. So they want solutions for their problems. So that's what we also face with this experience, where there were real world problems. They didn't think about IoT, but our customer, they know what is the problem the city is facing. And we started with a small proof of concept where we were given street lights, like one street alone. And we measured the energy consumption for 1 month. And then we put this automation, showed them how much there is a 20% reduction in energy. And then we expanded that into how can you bring in dimming, how can you bring in selective dimming across cities. Okay?
Excellent.
That is when they realize, oh, this is the power of IoT.
Got it. Hand it over to Martin, but Punit, why don't you answer the next?
So when we started, Arby's was merely looking to control their HVAC. In fact, all they wanted was programmable thermostats. We installed something broader, and they were shocked when we showed them that their walk-in freezer wasn't working, and the temperature was always too high. They got more sophisticated to the point where they actually began to push us to integrate with equipment, and they went to all of their kitchen equipment manufacturers and said, hey, if you want to connect to the internet, that's great, as long as you do it through Powerhouse Dynamics.
Excellent. Punit?
Completely agree. Our customers too came to us with problems, not the way to solve that problem. They said, hey, the temperature control is our problem. Many a times, space utilization is a problem for them because as office goers, we try to reserve a meeting room. Go out there and see that this meeting room is already either booked or utilized or something like that, right? So space utilization was their problem as well. So these guys came to us with problems, and we devised the solutions for them.
Excellent. Excellent. Any questions from the audience? Okay, going once, going twice. Putting the awards in people's hands. We each go on a separate picture. Bill, you got your camera. Oh, if you get to be with Mary Cronin, you're in for a treat. Wait. Martin, sit down again. I know you're supposed to be in a session right now, but give us a moment. You got 5 minutes. Just-in-time manufacturing. Okay? Now, excellent. Gentlemen, give the people a round of applause. Thank you so much. And the next wave is coming in. Sean, Mart, come on. This looked really complicated, really hard, didn't it? M&M Mars, if you want to be here, we'd love to have you in this shot too. You've got a cheat sheet. Do you have slides that you want me to use, or do you want to just... Okay, good. Good, this will keep us simple. Okay, so, is Arsan here? Arxon. Going once, going twice. Okay, then in that case, why don't we start with you, Art? Tell us, am I allowed to tell people it's lab call?
Yes, especially.
Okay, then that's good because I already have it up on the chart, so good that we know the customer name. So tell us about LabCall and what you guys did for them.
Yeah, so LabCall is a client of ours, and they had a lot of knowledge and experience in the clinics, monitoring or dealing with problems of vaccine storage. Vaccines they need to be kept at the proper temperature, and there's actually going to be mandates coming from the Centers for Disease Control in a couple of years, and so they're very much ahead of the curve. And came to us with the problem and requirements, and we put together the solution and developed it and dealt with some particular issues that our client was aware of from competitive solutions in the industry. For instance, there's a lot of general purpose temperature monitoring solutions out there that are being kind of thrown at the problem, but they don't work very well because they cause a lot of false alerts due to things like defrost cycles that happen every day. And the users are clinic technicians or nurses, and they don't really have a lot of background or understanding of how refrigerators work. So we developed a unique solution that actually learns each piece of equipment's defrost cycle and operating characteristics, and then we take that into account to suppress false alarms. And so the system has been very well accepted due to that capability in particular. It has been deployed commercially in many small doctors' clinics, as well as in a couple pharmacy chains around the United States that have adopted it on a statewide basis.
Excellent, excellent. Sean, tell us about you and Francis.
I'm Sean Watson. I'm with USA Technologies. This is Francis McMath. And
Put it closer to your face.
we're here today to talk a little bit about a partnership that we created with M&M. M&M is a third generation vending company that started in 1972 with 4 coffee machines. And they have grown today. They have 25 routes and over 4,000 machines. And in an industry where for the longest time it was thought of that as long as the machines are clean and as long as the machines are full, then business is running smoothly. And Francis and Chuck quickly realized that there was a paradigm shift in the industry. People weren't carrying cash anymore. I'm guessing that there's not too many people in the audience today that are from Las Vegas. You're all traveling. I'm not quite sure how many of you have cash in your pocket, but when you travel, you don't carry cash. And there was a shift in the industry where they realized that we need to look at what consumers need more. Consumers don't carry cash like they used to. And the generation of consumers that is today's consumer isn't the same as the one that was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Not only is it a cashless customer base that you have, but you're also seeing a shift in what they want to see in vending machines. They want to see things that are healthier options, things that are more nutritious. So as Chuck and Francis started to realize that technology needed to play a bigger role in the success of their operation, they visited with a lot of different companies. And I think the reason that they chose USA Technologies to partner with is because it was more of a partnership. And I go visit operators on a regular basis, and I ask them, why haven't you put cashless readers on your machines? I think one of the biggest responses I go, well, we just don't have the manpower to do it. That's a big job. Yeah, we know we need to do it, but that's a big job. Well, a partnership that was included with USA Technologies and M&M was that not only would we offer ground support for them to help deploy cashless readers on all of their snack machines, beverage machines, coffee machines, but we would offer training. We would also offer marketing support. I visit with vending operators on a regular basis, and if you sit down with a vending operator and you ask them, tell me about your marketing budget, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. We don't have a marketing budget. Why do you have to market a vending machine? Well, today you do, because it's more than just a vending machine. Not only can it take cashless payments, but it can also take what we call a mobile wallet. I don't know how many of you here use Apple Pay. Do you use Samsung Wallet? Do you use Android Pay? Any of these mobile wallets. Again, technology is kind of stepping out in front of everything else and everyone else and saying, hey, this is the way people do business today. It's not the same as it was 30 or 40 years ago. We successfully deployed 2,500 cashless ePort USA Technology readers on the McMath's vending machines, and they immediately saw, I think it was 22% increase in their sales in 2015. So, and not only did we see cashless sales, but we didn't see a cannibalization of cash sales. Cash sales went up as well. And then mobile wallets went up as well. A lot of times you would tell yourself, when you're spending money, out of sight, out of mind. If you're not feeding dollars into a machine, that's provided you're not out here on the gaming floor, right? If you're not feeding dollar bills into a machine and you're paying with your phone or you're paying with a credit card, chances are you're going to spend a little bit more. So we see multi-vends. It has been just very forefront in doing this as well. But that's what we did, and it was really successful. The partnership, along with marketing and getting cashless readers on all of the machines, has really made the McMaths the market leader in Louisiana. And to this day, I don't sit down with an operator that is in Louisiana or that is in any of the surrounding states, and I talk to them about their business, and they always say, well, what's Chuck doing? We want to know what Chuck over at M&M is doing. And he is a leader in this industry, in his market, and everybody knows what the McMaths are doing. Francis, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, no, Francis, you have to at least say hi to everyone. So take the microphone.
Well,
Chuck waved. It's not up here.
there's Chuck.
And Chuck's in the back. He's very careful not to get involved, so go ahead.
I will just say that we intended on just doing the cashless part, but with that, we also were able to get just a plethora of data information that we can use to better utilize what we put in the machines, what is the best sellers, who's using the machines, and we use that data, all of that data that we didn't expect to get.
Yeah, and one of those aspects is that you kind of upgraded for healthier choices
Absolutely.
now because
Absolutely.
of the fact that you know how to keep things fresh.
And what they're buying and what they wanting. Yes.
Right, so now up until Sean asked you to come hang out with her in Las Vegas, had you thought of this as IoT?
And I didn't even know what IoT was, but I have gone to all the sessions, and I really feel like I understand I didn't know what M2M was, and now I understand that's what we're doing. It's
Google
machine to
M2M.
machine.
There's a whole different group that made it so we only talk about IoT now.
Okay, well, but just how the device gives us more information that the device is.
So you've learned a lot from this show?
I really have.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. I'm glad you did that. Now, back to you, Art. So with your customer, with LabCall, did the term IoT ever come into the conversation?
Well, our client is very knowledgeable and understands IoT, but none of his end users have even heard the term, believe it or not, and what they understand is the term, which is what the CDC is using, which is a requirement for continuous electronic monitoring. Now, to us, that kind of translates into IoT, right? If it's a piece of equipment, but the end users, they don't know the term IoT. They might eventually, but it's a checkoff item. It's continuous electronic monitoring. It meets the CDC requirements, and that's what they care about.
So there's a compliance issue?
There is definitely a compliance issue. It's going to be a regulation in 2018.
Okay, and is there a reporting function that you guys have had to build as a result of that?
We've built an end-to-end system, all the way from actually dealing with assembling the sensors and getting them calibrated, which is a requirement, all the way up to building the cloud infrastructure and then everything in between. And it's all based on our cellular modem technology that is our core product. This is a vertical market play that we did with this client in particular.
Okay. Sean, they want to know what Chuck's doing, so I got that. Now the question is, what terms do they use? Are they talking about supply chain with you? Is there any lingo that works in the space?
Well, they are, and even though we don't use the word M2M every day in this particular industry, we know what it is. It's machine to machine. It's the transferring of data, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in. And if we're talking about the vending industry, how quickly can you transfer data that allows your business to be more efficient, that allows your business to be more accurate, that you know when something is empty, you know when you need to change a planogram, you know when a door opens, you know what the money levels are in certain machines, you know immediate real-time sales. It's about efficiency and it's about accuracy, and I think those are probably more of the key words that you will hear in this industry than you would maybe M2M.
So how's it changed the truck rolls for you, Francis? Are you, like, when things, in the old days before you had this technology, I'm sure that you had people do specific routes and basically have the inventory in hand. Nowadays, do you sit there and the truck rolls are based on what you see as a weakness, and does that reduce the amount of truck rolls, or are you finding that you're increasing as a result of knowing and increasing revenue as a result?
Everything is, we're getting the information from the machines in real time, and we're preparing what goes into the machines the day before the route person goes out. So now, rather than having a truck full of inventory that he may not use and heavy on the roads and stuff, he's going out with exactly what he needs, and he comes back with an empty truck.
Excellent, excellent. So, are there questions from the audience? Okay. With that, let's give you guys your awards. Because of the fact that I was leery of putting your name up there, Francis, I have it just as USA Technologies, but why don't you put it in front of you guys, and I'll get you an M2M one as well. And by the way, Just to be clear, not that I was confused, but when I first saw M&M, I thought of Mars, and I thought I was going to invite you guys to New Jersey to have some steak with me. Smile for the camera. Art, then you can come in here too and get your picture taken if you want. Yeah, I know. The sad thing is you and I are both standing and he's sitting, and we still look like we're his height. Excellent. So give our panel a round of applause. That is it for this